Nurturing future jobs and skills is vital to Australia's prosperity, and we know it. This legislation establishes Jobs and Skills Australia as a statutory body within the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations to provide advice and collect, analyse, share and publish data and other information on Australia's current and emerging labour market and its current training needs and priorities, and the adequacy of the Australian system for providing vocational education and training. In my electorate of Casey, I see thriving businesses who collectively employ thousands of people, tradespeople struggling to fill jobs, whether it's Miglis Glass, Mainstream Cabinets, from the construction to hospitality, agriculture to electro-engineering. Casey has a wide spread of industries. I see the frustrations of businesses with skills shortages every day. In fact, I saw it just on Sunday when I visited a great local business, Hutch & Co, on Father's Day. The staff are working so hard in a full restaurant to give everyone a great experience. Half their restaurant was closed because they didn't have the staff to fill the demand. Last week, I visited Rangers Tech, a campus of Mount Evelyn Christian School, designed for hands-on study with Year 10, 11 and 12 students through VCAL, with the goal of achieving Year 12 and a pathway to trade, TAFE or the workforce. I took along the Leader of the Opposition and the Shadow Minister for Employment and Workplace Relations. During that visit, I ran into a young man named James. Now, James and I played soccer together about 2 years ago at Lilydale Montrose United Soccer Club. I remember a time where I had to drive James to a game in the city, and he was talking to me about starting at Rangers Tech. He was in Year 10 and he was taking part in their Taster program, which gives students the opportunity to try many different trades and understand what they like so they can specialise in Year 11 and 12. It was extraordinary to see James 2 years later, see how much his confidence had developed, his growth and development as a person, and how he was enjoying learning to become a chef. It's a testament to the amazing work that Rangers Tech do, because I know James is just one example of thousands of young people in Casey that they have helped. There is an open enrolment at Rangers Tech. They draw students from every sector, including state, independent and Catholic schools, Steiner schools and even home schools. They usually have almost 100 students enrolled annually. Rangers Tech is an innovative model working to assist young people who struggle with the traditional school system. They create a pathway to employment for many young people and to help them develop vital life skills. On the same day, we visited Mainstream Cabinets, a family-run business in Lilydale, specialising in custom-designed, high-quality kitchen, laundry, bathroom and office cabinetry. Matt showed us around and explained the challenges his business is facing at the moment, including the increasing price on materials, but most worrying was the skills and worker shortages. He told us this was the biggest barrier to continued growth in his business. The Labor Party inherited a booming skills and training sector from the coalition government. Mr. Speaker, I passionately believe that if we invest in and support young people, it is not only supporting them but the wider community now and into the future, which is why I will always support legislation that helps our young people. We handed the Albanese government a skills and training system that was backed by record investments. There was real momentum in skills and training thanks to the Liberals and the Nationals. We'd established the National Skills Commission to provide evidence leadership on the skills we need for our workforce today and tomorrow. It invested a significant $13 billion in skills over the past 2 years alone. While the new government's goal for better information, coordination and leadership of Australia's workforce and skills needs is important, it was already being provided by the National Skills Commission. You can see this with no increase in funding in the budget for this change. It's a name change. The NSC reformed and increased training incentives through the new apprenticeship incentive system, including introducing direct payments to apprentices to see them through their studies and into a job. Apprenticeship numbers were up to record levels. For the first time in our history, we hit over 220,000 Australians taking up a trade apprenticeship. We support the jobs and skills sector fully and absolutely, but we remain sceptical of the Albanese government's plan for the new arrangements, given there is still no clarity on how the organisation will be structured, nor the responsibilities that Jobs and Skills Australia will hold. We still do not know the full scope of this agency, nor how it will operate, before Labor pressed ahead with establishing a new part of the bureaucracy. But I am sure that they had a media release they had to send out or a speech the Prime Minister had to deliver. The few announcements that they have made have been delayed to align with the much-hyped Jobs and Skills Summit, where the Prime Minister announced an additional 180,000 fee-free TAFE places for 2023. His much-vaunted training blitz is nothing more than marketing spin, with the vast majority of funded positions not new or additional at all. Reports in The Australian suggested of the 180,000 committed places, over 66% already exist and will only be further subsidised. Just 45,000 will be new, and all of them were already announced as part of Labor's fee-free TAFE pre-election commitment. As I have begun to notice as a new MP, this government will always put politics and optics over the interests of Australians. I must admit, I'm also worried about the signals coming out of the government when it comes to the role of unions in the JSA. What is also concerning is the Prime Minister's explicit statement that funding will go to public training providers only. This is particularly worrying for the industry-led training providers. We know private RTOs currently do 70% to 80% of training across the vet sector. This could open up the possibility of unions dominating the JSA's direction, just like they did at the Jobs Summit, and turn it into an entity that backs public providers only. We need an even-handed approach to the entire skills sector that provides choice to our next generation. So while we accept this bill will pass, I'll be keeping my eye on the details that hopefully will be released soon. We know just how vital jobs policy is for the strength of our economy, and I really hope this Labor government gets it right for once. However, Labor's poor record on skills is not new by any means. I'm quickly realising that Labor do not have a plan to address the skills shortages in Casey, outside spin and optics. And that is why I'm committed to working hard to ensure that we have short-term and long-term solutions to these skills shortages. This will include working visa extensions across all of Casey, which I will be continuing to advocate for, and partnering with Yarra Ranges Council to implement a designated area migration agreement to allow our businesses to help address their skills shortages. We can't wait around for Labor to get their act together. That is why I invited the Shadow Minister for Immigration and Citizenship to Casey last week to meet with industry groups, including Wine Yarra Valley and Yarra Valley Agribusiness, as well as visiting businesses such as Cherry Hill, a thriving agricultural and tourism business that is facing worker shortages right now, today, as they are looking to staff up for their busy tourism summer. They don't have staff. They would normally get over 600 applications for a role. They received 120 to fill 200 places. So we must work on both short-term and long-term solutions. We want this agency to succeed because if it hits its mark, Jobs and Skills Australia will play an important role in the skills system. There's been a lot of talk about skills from Labor over the past week, but as any tradie will tell you, it's getting the job done that matters, and that's the important part.